Good morning, everyone. Sorry, I posted the bloody chart there, and it keeps coming up as this one here. So I'll go back and try it again. JPY. See if we can get that sorted. Just a second, guys. We'll try and get this sorted now. Just give me a moment. Sorry about this, guys. Don't know why you could chart through that one kick. Just a second. Sorted now. Just a second. Sorry, guys. Just trying to do. That's better. Hope that's correct now. Just going to just shift it across. Does it come up now? Yes, it has. Just for that. Wow. Okay, knock that off. There we are. Good. Just got a post. So we're clicking in at once here. Just do that. Hang on. Where are we now? Hope that's correct, Sephora. Just check it for me. It's a problem. I know you're in the trading room now. Hope that's posted. I don't know why that is. What's this thing here now? That's the wrong one as well. Back in business. Okay. Hope that's okay. Just let me know. Not so much now. I think it's overcooked there, and the dollar's a little bit of strength coming in. Don't forget, guys, good morning to everyone. We've got quite an interesting week as regards fundamentals coming up. So we'll discuss that in a minute. Just trying to get those trades out with the right bloody chart on it. Sorry about that. Okay. Where were we? Okay, just a second. All right, get on track now. Now we're in business. Okay. We're called what's called masochists. Yeah, it's a bit of a long word for a Monday morning, then, Jethro. Okay, right. We'll start with this got up there now. To the copy and paste, it kept sending AUD one out. I think it's overcooked. Just get these guys in here. Morning to everyone. Yeah, I think it's possible upside. I'll put this on here. Go through a little bit. Anyway, I think the dollar's a bit oversold, the JP is a bit overbought. So I think, although it's being helped by a low oil price, I think there might be a possibility of some upside here. So anyway, that's the idea of why we sent it out. I think it's been posted MT5, I've sent out to my group. Okay, you're going to wait. That's not a problem. That's all I did. Training. We discuss it. apart. Mr. Guy joining. Okay, morning everybody. Sorry it's kind of a hectic the last few minutes trying to get the trade out without, don't know why it came up because I copy and pasted USD JPY. But anyway, it's done now. Let's move on. Right, hope that's correct. So for if it's not, just check for me and tell me. Because yeah. But anyway, the figures look okay. Right, US dollar JPY. We had a trade out there. I'll put the figures up for you, which was sent out. 138.03. Well, it's gone about the same, so it's fine. Uh, 137.40 and yeah, that's still the same ones. Okay, $80. That's not too bad. $80 for about 5 US per micro, which is not bad if you like the look of it. And it's not such a wide stock, so hopefully I'm not an enormously wide TP. So I'm keeping the fingers crossed that you might get out of this, if not today, by tomorrow. Don't forget, like I mentioned, modify stop. See if it doesn't get there. Once you modify your stop into hopefully not too close, but into profit, at least you then you're doing okay. All right, so if you like it, I've got it written down to send out anyway, but if you like it, there's three. And it's also on the mailbox, I believe it's been sent out, and I've sent it out to my groups. Okay. At the moment, finally, but if you think it's going to continue, that's fair enough. I think it's going to, well, obviously I think it's going to bounce from here, but it has been pretty strong. A little bit to do with the oil, to be fair. Okay, so there we are. If you want to do it, there it is. AUD USD was the other one. There's a few we can look at, but this one, the Aussie is weak. Remember, they got strong ties with China, and China had a lot of problems with this COVID rearing ugly head again. And so the retail coming out this morning was very bad on the Aussie dollar, and that they're not a lot total, but they're quite a big reliance to the free trade agreement with China. And their problems is a bit of a problem for the Aussie dollar. So this is another long to short anyway. I'm looking 4 hour. See, the 4 hour looks slightly pretty on the 4 hour. Seems to be holding for some move down. So we had this one. I'll put it in. I'll put on the TP 0.6785 and 0.65 as a TP. Okay, so wider stop. So clearly it's not 80, but 180 rand is going to be your risk factor, which is about $10 or so per micro. Up to you. Okay. All right. But anyway, those trades are going out. If you like them, there we are. So if you want to, there it is. We want to discuss it. Absolutely. Details are put up there on your mailbox, and those are my member of my group who got them as well. Okay, good. Now I just want to mention on the economic calendar, Lagarde, she's the president rather of the ECB, 4 o'clock on the euro. Just be aware of that. Just speaking quite late. Normally speaks a bit earlier, about 11, but this time it's 4 o'clock. Just be aware of that. Okay, Jester, up to you. You obviously you've been around a bit. You can adjust accordingly, but that's what we've sent out anyway. And I always say, once you're in the trade, let's get through some okay. Once it starts, hopefully go your direction. That's not really the worry. It's more getting the stop loss being brought down to protect yourself. Okay, these guys have all got that. Trying to get away from people who think stop loss at the TP are set in stone. You've got to modify, you've got to keep an eye on it. I made that mistake when I first started trading. I thought, great stuff, put the trade in, go to the beach. Not quite like that, unfortunately. Wish it was. Okay, right, so there we are. Those two will progress later on. Okay, I had a few others looked at, but maybe we can do it together now and see what you guys think. Was mentioned that who's joined us here, gold. I think there could be some downside on gold, but a bit iffy on the moment. It seems to be hovering around the 1750 mark. And problem with China could create a fear factor boost to gold. But then again, I think dollar and the yields have come off a bit, which is a bit of a tailwind for the downside on gold. I'm expecting a bit of downside on gold, but on the 4-hour, it's not really getting going. That's my only question on that. Okay, I will do that in a moment. So what? Gold, we'll come back to you and discuss it. Like 3-4 things happening at once. It's addling me a little bit. Okay, right, let's do one thing at a time. I'll be back on track. Okay, we can WhatsApp me and all the rest of it. Give me a break, yeah. Right, where are we now? Okay, so I'll let these guys in there as well. Yeah. Right, where were we? Yeah, modifying stock. Normally, when this is please, I beg of you guys, there's nothing set in stone. This is just my opinion, and you've got to look at the volatility. You can't compare the Nasdaq to the Forex, but generally speaking, depending on volatility, once I'm in 30 pips profit, I normally modify my stop loss to entry. You guys might think 40 pips or 20, it's entirely up to you. That's just a rule of thumb. Once it starts getting the profit, I then start modifying 20 pips away. So either I take the profit or I'm stopped out. Does any of that not make sense? Any of that gobbledygook to anybody? It's vital you say so, because again, guys, when they're on the stick, they're not questioning it, it comes back and bites. So 30 pips, high mark. So there's no such thing as getting quite right. Please, there's millions of people trading all different variables. But I just, a rule of thumb, 30 pips in profit, I get it to entry, and then I look at it occasionally and then keep the stop loss modified to 20 pips behind market. And then so I'm either eventually stopped out or I close it or whatever, something like that. You can't make that. You might do 30 pips and then it comes back, stops you out and goes in the right direction. There's no hard and fast rule. If there was, there would not be a market. It's just a rule of thumb. Okay, it's just a rule of thumb to start with, yeah. Remember, if there's a hard and fast, no-brainer rule, there would not be a market. Believe me, the best computers in the world would have thought of it by now, and then there'd be no buyers or sellers, because everyone would be going in the same direction. You've got to have a counterparty, and that's why you have your own specific areas. And we're all looking, unfortunately, for the hard and fast holy grail. Unfortunately not. B, I don't know what B is, unless you mean entry. That's about that. That's more or less what I do. Yeah. But not on the Nasdaq. That's a far different ball game. Break even, okay, yeah. Or to entry point, yeah, to entry point, break even, yeah. That's a good point actually, because I might have down the trade and getting in at 138.03. Other guys might have got 138.08 or something like that. And again, they're not thinking. Let's say they got in a bit late, and I say I'll move it to entry, and that's only 5 pips away from the market. Then they'll move it and they get stopped out. Yeah, you've got to think, you know, and yeah, following blindly, it's not going to work. You've got to think a little bit, use a bit of common sense. It's even me to say that, I've been doing it for a long time, and I get that completely, but still, it's, yeah, you've got to, well, what to say on that. Okay. Think on your feet. Break even. Okay. That's the yardstick I use. That's the sort of rule of thumb I use. Yeah. Remember, always this business is about equity management, risk control, not about TP. The TP will look after itself. Okay. If you have your car looked at, you've got your seatbelt on, you drive it properly, you've checked the oil, checked the tires, blah, blah, blah. That's what it's about. And if you do all that and drive carefully, you should get to Cape Town from Joburg. But if you're thinking more concentrating get to Cape Town without checking the car, you break down the Karoo, that's not going to be happy days. Silly sort of analogy, try and get the understanding of it. But again, it's a natural thing to do. I've done it myself when I started, is looking for the holy grail. There ain't one. Got to think in your feet at each eventuality, because there's millions of people out there also looking for the holy grail. Buyers and sellers, a counterparty. Every time you buy, somebody thinks you're wrong. That's why they're selling it to you. The time you sell, they think you're wrong. That's why they're buying it off you. That's the most important part. with a bit of thinking on your feet, a bit of experience, not overcomplicating it, you should get more winners than losers, which I want to come to a point on that. I went through, as promised, over the weekend, what I sent out on my group WhatsApp for, I was quite busy, so I didn't do 2-3 times to check it, but I came up with a figure. What I sent out in trades in the group was 30, of which 7 I discovered were losers and 23 were winners. That's not bad, but I want to make it completely clear what I mean by that. If I'm out in a profit, that's a winner. So in other words, let's say you make 10 Rand profit, that's a winner, but you might have made another one, a 50 Rand loss, that's a loser. So bear that in mind. But I hope you get what I mean by that. So, but anyway, 30% out, 23 were winners, 7 were losers. But it's not as if they're all hit 2 to 1. Just bear that in mind. Okay. Well, yeah, but all that means is, yeah, that's exactly it. But it can't really call the win. You didn't lose on it. But yeah, the ones, well, might be cheating in a way, but I want to make it clarify, Jeff and the guys there, that if you're stopped out in the profit by modifying stop or whatever, or you're closing a profit, count that as a winner. So just bear that in mind. It's on theory, 30% lose, 70% win sounds pretty good, but I want to be completely honest and transparent to you guys. Not all get the TP. Just be aware of that. Okay, so there we are. Okay, I've got a couple of ideas to look at. There's a CAD JPY. If anyone wants to post, don't forget post on there if you've got any trade ideas or unmute, etc. Okay, right, CAD JPY. I looked at potential here of a bounce. Now, you might want to say if it can retain 103 and go above the 200-day moving average, it's a confirmed move, but I'm just putting it up there for you guys to have a look at. I think it's overcooked, and we've got some buyers coming in, as you can see from the wick down there, and it hit their previous support down there, as you can see on the crosshairs. So I think they're possibly a buy. Now, the big question, do you want to see it go above 103 and retain that 200-day moving average confirmation, or do you want to take the risk of going in now, or do you want to do absolutely solid all with it, or do you want to sell it? Come to that. So that's I think there's a possibility of upside here. Any comments? Remember, I'm trying to do it's a forum here. I'm trying to just not say good one this, I've been doing this, that's a good one to buy. No, this is where we discuss and we can learn. It's an opinion, basically. It's like DA and what's it, EFF and ANC. It's all about opinions. Or that can get a bit emotional politics, but I'm trying to use an analogy there. So anybody see a potential upside here or downside or anything here? Let's discuss. Anyone want to go in now? Leave it? What do you think, guys? You scared this one, yeah. But that's why I didn't start a trade. There's a couple of other guys there who we discussed earlier on, a little bit nervous of it as well. Yeah, we would be making more money short and long. It was clear it's been coming off, but I'm wondering if it could be a turnaround now. Yeah, that's fair comment again, John. Fair comment. Okay, we'll move on then. No one's keen. This one, another one, I think is a potential bit of upside as well. I'm using the yen a lot because I think it's a bit overcooked. It's the bottom of a range, and I still quite like the Swiss. And it's more stably strong than the Canadians, you know. Bear in mind, oil's pretty low. Look at Brent there, 81 bucks. I think it might get a bit of a bounce there, actually. 80 on this morning, $80 earlier this morning, might get a bit of a bounce. Remember, Canada mentioned before, exports, Japan imports. So a stronger oil bounce might be good for Canadian, weaker for the yen. Okay, we sent the Aussie dollar out one, if you like it, but we'll move on to back to that in a moment. Anyone like a possibility of a bounce here or wait? You want to wait on this, yeah? Okay, we'll get AUD in a moment. Just going to go back to AUD/USD, just remind that. Looking at a short there, it hasn't really moved much, so you can go in if you like it. But we did look at a short on this one. Remember, on the fundamental basis, the Aussie is very reliant, maybe over the top of the line, but it's a certain extent reliant on China, and China's got a few COVID problems there, to say the least. Bottom line is, I think I see AUD fairly weak, and I think the dollar should gain a bit of strength. And so it's in the neutral zone there, and I think there's a possibility of some downside. Okay, Pierre. And the same thing with the US dollar, Japanese yen. We've got, that seems to be going all right. We've got a 138-ish, around about that. Or 38.03 I got it anyway. And it seems to be having a little bit of a bounce. Do your maths first before you join it. Just make sure the risk reward's okay for the signal. Okay, should have all have got. And unless you got less than 500 rand. Well, less than 500 rand, I'm really blunt with you guys, you're wasting your time. You need capital like anything else in the capitalist world, you know? And under 500 rand, no, it's not going to need capital. Okay, right. Euro USD is another one I looked at as a possible downside. But my worry on the daily is it's not having a confirmed break here, but it seems to be trying to hold there. So I think the possibly downside, the 4 hour, that and use the worry, the 4 hour. The guys and myself included think it might be opportune to be prudent and see if it through here first. But having said that, anyone's taking an aggressive trade on a short on that one, they're the possibilities. Okay. All right. Any comments on this one? Wait, or what would you like to do with this one? Yeah, on set up, blame me, Jethro, to be honest. But anybody like that, put the R up if you like it, mark it. Just bear in mind the 4 hour, that's my only concern. Okay, we'll wait on that. Just checking these out on that. And that's about all I've got at the moment. CAD, JPY, CHF, AUD, JPY. No, I looked at it, but I'm not so keen anymore. Look at it again quickly, but no, I was looking at short, but things were overcooked. I think we maybe said if it gets a bit higher up, but anyway, a bit overcooked that one. Leave that. Yeah, that's about it really. Yeah, so I mentioned AUD schedule. Thank you for reminding me. Thank you. I'm going to mute you all. There's a bit of background noise there. Just remind me if you want to chat, I'll just unmute. AUD CHF for a long. It's on the support there because it's a bit weak. I think the Swiss a bit stronger. I'm a little bit nervous purely on the fundamental basis, but I see the bottom of the range. You could get a bounce. It's come down a hell of a lot in the last 10 hours today. Remember, this is a 10-hour-old candle at the moment, and I think that maybe a profit-taking bounce is an option, but a little bit nervous. Overcooked means it's not a pair particularly. I mean, you've got one against the other. It's like a seesaw. But if I think Japanese yen is overbought or oversold, in other words, where Jethro's coming in here, and I can see what he means, he's come down to support on the range, had a bit of a range trade there, and the AUD's come off because of the weakness in China and the figures that came out this morning. But I think there'll be some profit taking, and it's a bit oversold. overcooked, oversold. Simple as that. Okay, so I think there might be some profit-taking bounce on this one, but the extent of it, I'm not sure. And remember, you're buying the Aussie dollar. It means you're selling the Swiss franc, which is a bit. I think you're going to get a bounce, but I'm not too sure the extent of that bounce. Is it going to be worth taking the risk? Even if it bounces there, it's only 40 odd pips. You need a stop down here. You won't get the maths correct. Unless you're really aggressive, maybe 25 pip stop, 40 pip TP. That's more like a scalp, if you like. Well, if you're still in the sell, that's perfect, because we've had a sell out here on the WhatsApp. So the guys who did it the other day, when I can't remember, I said it out, sent quite a few out, would have been in profit, which is great. But yeah, if you are in profit, don't forget to modify your stop. We might get a bit of a bounce here, but I don't see much happening with regards to bounce. Let's try a shorter term chart there. Try to bounce. Look, the sellers came in again. I think to buy it now is far too risky, personally speaking. In fact, I've made my decision. I think rather sit tight. If you're in the short already, what a pleasure. I'd rather short the rally, but I'd rather be short this than long, put it that way. So rather short the rally. I will get a better price for a short if you're not in already. If you are already in, obviously modify, protect your profit. I think that's probably the best way. Happy with that? Yeah, that's what I say, Jethro and guys out there. It's yeah, sometimes disappointing when you modify the stock and you're up, let's say 20, I don't know, 20 units, argument's sake, no matter dollars, yen, or whatever, 20 units, and you modify to stop or whatever, just to protect yourself, comes back, stops you out, and goes in the right direction. That's the risk you take. But at the same time, I think that's still a little bit preferable to leave the stop. You're up 30, 40 pips, and something goes wrong, and now you stop down the loss. I just prefer to just play a bit more on the safe side there because there's so much fundamental movements out there. Yeah, I think it's a good chance. I'm with you on that, John. I'm not sure I'd be buying the Aussie against the Swiss at the moment. Rather, I'd sell a better price or I'd sell a breakthrough. And you should be doing okay, Mike. If you haven't said so, you should be doing okay. You should be in the blue on that one. Okay, what? Slightly, okay. You say, oh, yes, I am. Okay, slightly, better than nothing, I suppose. Okay, I just want to mention here, as you know, I mentioned before, there might be some newer guys coming in here. I have got a group WhatsApp, what I call the QT groups, my QT group WhatsApp, where I post daily updates, areas of interest sometimes, and trading signals. If you aren't a member and you want to be a member, you will need 2.5 grand in your account. Why? I'll put my name on, just give me a moment. I want to explain before you send me a WhatsApp request and you haven't got the money in there. Why 2.5 grand is because we get quite a few signals sent out, and guys in a few $100, then they can't make use of them all, and you need to make use of them all because you don't know which is going to win and which is not going to win. And if you've got 5 or 6, 7, 800 grand or 1,000, mainly you can only go to 1,000 or maybe 2 trades at most. So you don't know which one to pick. Let's say you get 5 cents out. If you pick, don't ask me. I don't know. I put them out. I think they're all okay, and 1 or 2 might not work out. You know how it works. So you do need the capital to properly. It's not me saying, "Oh, you've got to put more money because I want more money off you." No, nothing to do with it. It means you have to have some capital to make use of the signals and make use of the service, if you like. If you're undercapitalized, you can't. So there's no point. Or worse, because you're not sure, and you've got a high leverage account, you go into all of them, and then before it even gets going, your margin called in the noise. So that's why it's 2.5 grand minimum, preferably more. Okay, so on that basis, I hope you understand what I'm saying. I'm going to put my name down so you can WhatsApp me on it. Remember, don't phone, rather WhatsApp. Because it's so time consuming otherwise. WhatsApp, just give me a second. Hope you all got the parameters there. And please, I beg you, when you do, if you do have it, just get to the point by putting your full names and real account number. Don't say, this is George, I'm keen on joining your WhatsApp group. Like, who's George? You know what I mean? This is George Smith. real account number 161254. I can check the system and then I'll upload it. Okay. There we are. Good. Hope we're all clear on that. Okay, great. So up to date now. No, I don't know what Yakko's got. All these guys got their own. I'm going to explain something. Thanks for that, Hilda. I want to explain something in clarity because people are getting confused with this account manager and trading support. The account manager is something called FAIS, the Financial Advice Intermediary Services. Financial Advice Intermediary Services. Intermediary is where I can say that's not a bad product or help you open up an account and admin and bits and pieces like that. They cannot advise. They're not allowed to. They're not. Don't have the qualifications where the Financial Service Conduct Authority, FSCA, is the regulatory body, and you have to be a representative on that. The various exams you've got to pass and be okayed by them before you're allowed to give advice, which is completely understandable. You know what I mean? Can't do any Tom, Dick, and Harry say advise, do that, or clue what they're doing. So it doesn't mean to say the guy's always got it right, but it means he's got like a license to drive, if you like. They don't have that license. So if they put one out, it will be one of mine. If it's not one of mine, they're going to be in trouble. So if you're on there and they're sending out my stuff, which is usually repeated anyway from the MT5, which is selling MT5, because Yakko and the account managers are not on mine. The company won't allow them to be on mine. So if what they're doing is they're just repeating out to their guys what's pushed on the MT5. Now, what goes on the MT5, the office sends out for what we do in a strategy meeting in the morning, and not 100%, but I'd say over 95% on mine anyway. So that's why you might as well go to the horse's mouth, if you like, and get it fresh off the press. Because, yeah, they're not members of my group WhatsApp because the company said no, because they're worried they'll start shoving out to everybody and everyone will use them because it is free, etc. So to get some sort of control on it. So Yakko, Rohan, these are all great guys, but they are account managers. They are not trading support. If you need to have advice on trading, whether you like it or not, you've got to come to me or Ashley, but Ashley's left. So you haven't got much choice in the matter now. So you've got to come to me whether you like it or not. Sorry about that. That's the way it is. Okay, hope that's clear, Eldrick. So if you've got 2.5, God, you've got it. There you are. So if you've got 2.5 grand, Eldrick, or more in your account, WhatsApp me on the number I've given you. I'll check it, it's there, and then I'll upload it and you get it fresh off the press, basically. Okay. And I tend to get more out than the MT5 does. Why is that? Because the guys in management send it out, busy in meetings, etc. And by the time another one comes out, whatever, you know, it's just more practical to have in your account to be a member. It's just no ways around that. Okay. Hope that makes sense. And it's for your sake as well, because if you're trying to fight this market with 2 small accounts, well, it makes no sense. I mean, guys spend £1,000 a month or whatever, get the learning, and they put a few $100 in their account. Why would you spend 100 grand on driving lessons and buy a 2 grand motor car? It should be the other way around. You're getting the learning to make use of it. Now you're undercapitalized to make use of the learning. When you think about it, it doesn't make any sense, that, does it? If you're with me. Okay, go back to AUDNZT. That really is, it just keeps on coming off, doesn't it? Okay. Zeph, yeah, I think there's a good chance of coming down here. It's about 70 pips away, but I think it's a good chance of it. We're going to put the stop up here. That's my problem, unless you've got some other, that's on the weekly. It's about an 80 pips target, but if you want to go for it, maybe put a stop here. You're going to have a pretty tight stop on the daily. Is that going to work? That's my worry. You need about a 60 pip stop, and I think you might have an 80 pip a TP. Clearly, the maths against you. It's not going to work. Your R is incorrect. That's the only reason why I was a little bit hesitant to actually discuss that this morning in the strategy room as a trade, because I do think there's a very good possibility of getting down there. I agree with you on that. But what the hurdle is, there's a bit of support there. Sorry, I'm overcooked. It's a bit overcooked, AUD. And you know, look at that, it's come down a hell of a lot against a fairly similar currency. Remember, New Zealand is next door neighbor, So I think there's a good chance it will come down here. Is that enough reward to take the risk? That's the only reason. But I'd like to hear your. Okay, Eldridge, thanks very much. It'll come with the WhatsApp. Just post it to make my life even quicker. It's a 6-figure real account number. Just put that on the WhatsApp, and I'll do it after the trading room at 11 o'clock. Okay, with pleasure, Eldridge. Use the fib. If you see up, where's the fib? Could do. Should take it from here. It could be an upside in the fib. Remember, I put the fib as a buy. If you're looking at a short, you're going to put the fib from there downwards. I hear you on the fib on the weekly. There's my, got my TR, so inverter sorted, by the way. So I shouldn't have any more problems in that direction. But yeah, I take your point on that. I think it's going to come back a little bit to the 200, and then we might get a bounce at the moment. I personally can't get a risk reward to sell it, and I'm still not sure I'll be buying the Aussie at the moment. So that's my point of view anyway. But if you like what Zeph's doing, we'll put the risk reward up for you. Anybody want to see an upside on it? No, he's short on this one because he's obviously going for a slightly. Well, you got it TP 10654. 10654, somewhere around down there. If you want to do it, but I've given my opinion. I've applied the fib on as if you want to go long, but I think there's still some more downside. But if you see a bounce there, fair enough. But I'm more with Zeph on the downside. My only problem is, like I said, the lack of meat on the bones, not enough reward to take the risk. But if you think it's upside, the fib is applying there. Okay, happy with that? Can we move on? You're going to take the risk. Anyone who wants to go with, I'll put it down. Anyone want to go with Zeph and I'll take a sell risk on this one? I'll put the R up if you want it. Anyone want to join him? You want to join him? Okay. Put the R up on that one. We'll use his figures then. What do you see? What do you use? Just find that again. Just a minute. I'll put that up. 1.08. 1.0832 and the TP 1.0654. It's just squeeze the 1.5 risk reward, but those are the figures there if you want to go with it. But my little bit of worry, I'll try to put you off here, is the fact that it's below that, you might get a bounce there. That being as it may, those are the figures if you like it. If two more people want to go with Zeph's, I'll put it down to Trading Room Idea. And I'll put Zeph beside it. So if it works, he gets the accolade, not myself. I'm the one who misses out. Any two people want to join Zeph on this one? Anthony and Tony is a yes. Okay, so two people. I'll put it down. Okay. 1 second. I'm going to write all down. Okay. I'll put Zeph, because that's Zeph's one. Okay, fair enough. Okay, Guy just WhatsApp. Can you still do the signals? Check. I'm busy here. Just check the AUD USD. What do we look at? The 83 AUD. You can. Check the other one. Just going to knock this off. Okay, good. Right. Okay, that's going to be sitting on break even. US dollar, Japanese yen. It's gone up a little bit. So a guy asked to join it now. I think wait on that one. Rather not join it now. And the AD you can. Okay, right. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Anything else you'd like to discuss in the meantime, guys? Don't forget 4 o'clock. To give the President Lagarde speaking. President of the ECB speaking at 4, and AUD retail sales minus 0.2 and expecting plus 0.5. That's why it didn't look so great. Okay, so the Nasdaq before we do the S&P, that was asked, wasn't it? That's right. Right, Nasdaq, as I put out in my snippet, it's a bit of a range between 12 and 11.5 at the moment. I still think short though, rather. I'm a little bit nervous of buying it. It's come off a little bit. I think it's, as you can see, the Friday and Thursday's candle. Very iffy, very much indecision candles. I think there probably will be a bit of downside here, but I just can't see it's worth chasing at the moment. If it breaks 11.5, we can look at the trade. If it comes back to 12,000, we can look at the trade. So me, I thought in a no man's land at the moment. I would not do it. And as mentioned before, if you do not have 4 or 5K upwards in your account, strongly suggest you look at the S&P as an index, not the NAS, and certainly not the Dow. It's because it's volatility, you need not like 50, 60, 80 pip stops, and like in Forex, it is a minimum of 200 pips because the noise is quite a movement's volatility is quite high. That means you're risking 350 odd rand per micro minimum, which is a bit too hot for anyone below about 4 or 5 grand. Just bear that in mind. So if you haven't got the Tom, rather not go for it. You could get stopped out in the opening noise at +4, and even if you go in the right way, because it's volatility. Okay. Okay. Okay, that's the NAS. That's my opinion, Anne-Marie, on the NAS. If you got the Tom, not a problem. But even if you got the Tom, I would not. If you're in, fair enough. I'm talking about entering now. I would. I'd rather see a break 11.5 before I enter, or a slightly better price to got near the 12,000. Obviously, there you go. S&P is different kettle of fish. I still see downside there. You got one out and still about break even. If you haven't joined it, you want to join it. I still like to look at this one's downside and the stop of it, but that's the weekly in it. Sorry. Stop can be above here, even as you can do a tight stop. I've put near 4.1, 4.1 or something. And even at 4.1, you're talking about $9, which is a completely different ball game to, as I say, 20 odd dollars, which you're talking on the NAS. $9 is doable for smaller accounts. Sorry, hourly, because you're moving on. Hourly on what, Mark? On the NAS, okay. Yeah, that's a bit of a gap from opening today. Remember, that was the weekend close, opening today. It could pop up there and come off. I don't know. It's a short-term movement to that. So volatile, it's difficult to guess. So I've got to look at overall features on that, not like closing the gap. I hate to say, no, I don't. I think just basically, if you want to short this, rather get a better price for a break. I wouldn't be jumping in now. If you want to scalp upwards, that's your choice. I can't give a call on that. How far is the gap to? I'll take it up to here, maybe. It's only 45 pips, which is solid all on the Nasdaq. And you've got to put a stop down here somewhere, about 1-to-1 risk. That's up to you. You want to scalp it up, the odd chance. Good luck. I'm not going to sit and advise the guys out there. These are guys who, got the money, know what they're doing, prepared to do it. It's not a piece of advice I can give out to guys just starting their trading career. If you want to drive over 120, it's your car. You take the risk. But I can't advise the guys to do it, if you know what I'm saying. Okay. So if you like the S&P, that's more favorable as an index. Because as you can see, if you put there's a chance there, you put a stop above here, maybe a little bit higher, maybe at 4.1 and take it down to about 3.8, something like that. If you're not in the S&P and you want to do an index, this is probably a better bet at the moment. Less volatile and stops mean in the correct area because the contract size is 10 like the NAS, it means it becomes more affordable. Now, if you want to see the contract size, just go to the S&P. There we are, highlight it, right click, go to specifications, give the contract size as well as the margin. Remember, if you want to know what your leverage is, you just go to the margin there, divide into 100, and that will give you leverage. Hope you all got that. Yeah, I do. Yeah. On the basic behind that is the overall market, jumping around the rest of it, world markets, I'd go back to this debt problem again. It's still got to be resolved. And so I still see increase in interest rates going forward till inflation and debt's controlled. And with very low interest rates, you're encouraging debt. The world's now got to start discouraging it. Or there's too many people in debt where they're just out of control debt, like South Africa's economy at the moment. You've got a $4 trillion debt, and they're costing you a fortune just to service the interest on that debt. I hate to say it, they run the economy like a teenager with oversized credit card limits. But yeah, I see downside. If you want to do the S&P, I'll put that for you if you're not already in. I like 4.1 and 3.8, so I'll stick to that there before. There you see, 160 bucks. It's doable. 350 is, well, a lot of people have no problem at all, but some people might find 350 a micro a bit hectic. We'll say look at that as long as you got the top. I personally shouldn't be doing the down below 10,000. It's the same contract size. Remember, this contract size is 10. Come back to that if you want. But if you're going to do the Dow, remember, just check it. A, B, C, D, where are we now? Here we are. Googs in. Yeah, where are we on the Dow? Where is it now? Right click, specifications. See, contract size is 10. Look at the figure. That's 34,000. On the S&P, it's 4,000. Yet the contract size is exactly the same. That's why a lot of brokers out there, I think the MT4 does, has a contract size of the S&P is 100 to level it up. Like gold will be 100, which is 10 here. I thought maybe adjusting that and got around to the office because it's confusing people because they're going 0.01 the Dow, not doing the maths, and going 0.01 gold, 0.01 S&P. It's a phenomenal difference. Gold's like 700. This is 34,000. There's 20 times the difference in size. So 0.01 the Dow is equivalent to 0.20 on the gold, if you get my point. So if you want to do this one, it's a different ball game. So we'll do a short to look at it, see what I mean. Crunch it a little bit. Put the stop up there. How far away is it? Even that's a bit tight. See, it's a bit tight actually. Maybe a little bit high. We'll try that. Just maybe try down there. 33.9. That could work. There you are. It's funny enough, that's a bit of a tight stop for the Dow. I might have to slightly wider, but it's only 300 bucks a micro, which is actually quite cheap for the Dow. Let's get this out of the way, maybe a little bit close that. Yeah, we might manage it. It's a risky one because it's quite a tight stop, and I do see downside. And it means if you want to do the Dow for once in a while, it's doable for smaller accounts. There you are. So anyone like to look at this? Surprised us one. A few times I've seen less than about a 400 or 500 rand risk per micro. 300 is doable, but again, 300 should be a risk profile on a 5 grand account. So you got below 5 grand. I suggest you look at the S&P if you want to do it. But that's all clear. Okay. Okay, Jethro, good stuff. Any questions on it? Anybody want to do this? I'll do that in a minute. Anyone want to do the Dow? Or the S&P? I'll wait for a reply on that. And if they are, put him down. S&P, you want to do the S&P? Anyone want to join S&P with Mike there? No one wants to do the Dow. Well, if you want to do the Dow, up to you. I'm not writing it down because I haven't got any replies on it. If you're still in that for, I'm talking entering now. Anyone want to join the Dow? Or the I'm not putting it down because nobody seems to want to join it. Okay. You want to join the Dow? Just tell me. Okay. That way. Right. Okay. So S&P, if you want to do it, there you are. I've written it down because nobody seems to want to do it. Actually, I'll put it down anyway. Okay, fair enough, Mark. Okay. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. All right. Okay. So I put the S&P down anyway, because sometimes we're just to refer back to. We can move on from there. Okay. I just want to see anything happening on the other stuff. We looked at CAD JP, Brent. Let's look at Brent. Anything happening on Brent? Too much sideways. So the one out consolidation, there could be a bounce here, but it doesn't seem to be happening. So rather leave it alone. If I'm going too quick, just tell me. AUD USD is 83, it's 89, popped up a little bit. So what? So if you haven't got the AUD USD, well, you're getting a slightly better price. Remember, if I say go in around or better on my WhatsApp, that's a better because you're shorting it. It's a higher price is better than the lower if you're shorting it, clearly, and vice versa going long. So it's 6 pips better, which means you're getting a better price. I'm going to say don't put a sell stop it, go to market. Hope you all understand what I mean by that. US dollar yen got it around about the round figure on 38-ish mark. At the moment, it's slightly up, about 15 pips up, something like that. That's okay. We want to look at the CAD JPY. We didn't really, well, yeah, it's not enough confirmation. CHF JPY, maybe confirm. Come back to you like. What some of you put up there? What was it again? EURCHF, beg your pardon there. EURCHF. Don't forget, 4 o'clock, Lagarde is speaking. I know it's still a few hours away, just bear that in mind. 6 hours away, so bear that in mind. Right, where's the 200? Down there, I think that's up there. Okay, so in the neutral zone, what do you want to do with this one? You put EURCHF. So what do you mean by that? Do you want to buy it? Do you want to sell it? What do you want to do with it? Ryu, what do you want to do with this one? Does anyone want to buy or sell this one? For the record, I think I'll sit on the sidelines. That's my Yeah. I don't think there's enough movement there. 4 o'clock's only 6 hours away. It's in the neutral zone. It's not even the buy or sell zone. Look at those wicks in the previous candles. No, I don't see a trade there. I think the DXY could get a bit of upside. I'm just going to copy and paste for you, in case you haven't got that one. Copy and paste, so you can copy and paste it. Like I'm saying here. Right, you got the DXY. It's the moment it's holding above 106. I think it's going. I think it's going to hold. Maybe pop its head below, but I think around about the 105 mark is seemed to find the bottom, so we might get a little bit of upside there. Bit difficult, actually, to be honest, but that's what I think. But I'm not as convinced as I'd like to be, but I feel there could be a bit of upside there. Okay, fine. So, but this one, I'm leaving this alone. In fact, I don't see much on. I'm going quick through the euro, if you like. See if anything there. That could be a buy with a weak Aussie dollar, but look, it's right on the resistance there. And a few sellers are coming in to be defending it, so I'd leave that. But we're not going too quick. You see where I'm coming from. EURCAD. Again, I think the Canadian is getting the stage where it might strengthen a bit. So I wouldn't be joining there. That to me is overcooked, overbought, my opinion. Okay, see if anyone sees something there, tell me. EURCHF. Again, indecision, don't see something there, which is Henry. EURGBP, neutral, not sure I can see anything there at all. Or buy or sell it, EuroJPY. I could see maybe a buy if it would come back above the 50-day. At the moment, probably about the best of the lot as a buy, but even then I'm a bit iffy at the moment. I think, I can't tell you this, but I think she's going to resume a hawkish stance for the worldwide debt. So we might have to get a little bit of strength in the euro in, but that's the risk you take if you're going to buy it. But I think there's a possibly a bit of upside here, but I wouldn't go for it now until it's taken out the 50-day. Okay. EURNZD. Again, they're both pretty strong at the moment. So in the neutral zone, either could happen. So overall, the only one I'm possibility of a like is there. Technical damage being done. It's popped up above the 200-day moving average. So I would leave it. Looking for a short if it held with confirmation. We haven't got it, so leave it alone. Dollar yen, we discussed it a few times. That's the trading signal. That's just popped back down again. What the hell's happened there? Yo. Just popped down the last couple of minutes. Jumping around. Probably the right thing to do, Mark. Weak in the moment. It's a lot of Monday morning indecision out there, to be honest. That was going nice. It's 138.20 just now. So, yeah. So I can't help any more than that, because when you get this sort of thing, all the experience, all the knowledge, everything else in the world, when the buyers and sellers are not quite sure which way, that's where you get into such a short-term jumping around. It's just indecision. But anyway, got the trade. Hope the 138 holds. Hope you get a bounce back up again. Okay. And as I said, be careful this week. We've got quite a few fundamentals coming out. Non-farms, remember, the biggest of the lots coming out on Friday. And I think there's some more stuff coming out during the week. So just be aware of that. Dollar side a week, and I think 1 or 2 hold. Who knows? Anyway, so there we are. Expect the noise. I know it can play havoc with your mind because it's doing a profit, and then it goes from red to blue, blue to red, or whatever. Yeah, you've got your stop loss, you've got your TP, you've taken the view. Just hope the noise will overcome and go in the right direction. Okay. All right. Okay. So I'll just go back to Zef's trade there while we've got a moment, see if anything's happening there. I didn't think the risk reward was good enough. That's why I didn't, but I do favor downside. I'll take a side on that. 762, about the same. Not much happening. A bit quiet. I'm just sorry, guys, but it might be a bit of a sort of zigzag kind of week coming up with all these fundamentals coming out, a lot of nerves out there. So yeah, I think it might be a little bit, say, zigzag, meaning not a lot of follow through. See what I mean? That's just popped up now. If you're still at the trade, you're getting a better price. You're not entered. And sometimes, guys, on my group WhatsApp, you might not see a trade go out for a day because it's just too much of a sort of like a flip of the coin sort of thing. Okay, that just tells me the buyers and sellers a lot of the time are not sure. They get nervous, take the profit too quick, and that sort of thing. Okay. Could we get a bounce here? No, see, no confirmation. No confirmation at all. Look at that. Total indecision. Leave it alone. Okay, I'm just going to post the economic calendar for those who haven't got it. It won't take too long. If you obviously got it, don't worry about it. If you haven't, there we are. See, you can filter it yourself. I filtered it to my interest. You can filter it yourself. Put other stuff in there. And I'll put the yields out for you as well in case you want that. There we are. Yields are looking a bit weak at the moment as well. So, yeah, very indecisive out there. Okay. By the way, thank you, Vio, and the other guys who joined in. Trading Forum. Thanks very much for sort of being proactive. Okay. Any questions in the meantime? Pleasure. Thanks. On how the charts are set up or anything like that. So you've all got the posted the stuff there. They've all got the RR. Anything you're not sure of, I can clarify without going into 3-hour explanation, which is for classes. I'm hoping, I can't say, I'm hoping it's going to be a good session this afternoon because I'll be like the guards out the way and a few other things will come clearer. It's a bit of a nervy opening on a Monday morning, just bear that in mind. Thanks, Joseph. Excuse me a second, just go to a little boy's room, be 2 seconds. If you think of anything on the post on there, any questions, please, we'll take it from there. Sorry, excuse me. Okay, Any shares anyone to look at? USD, CFDs. Anyone look at some of those? Because I'm afraid I've run out anything exciting to come up with there. Let's take a share here. No. I might come off. Okay. Cool. Look at that. What's happened to the yen? Suddenly come flying down. Whoa. Yeah, I think the moment be a little bit on the careful side. It's very difficult to predict when you get all these sort of counter trends coming in. Don't know. I've heard of it. Don't really use it that much. So I don't really use it much. We can look at it sometime if you want, but I don't really use it. What does the trading view do that everyone else doesn't? Okay, that's probably better. Should I wait or put in a sell to cover loss? Well, it's come off a bit. You got your stop loss there. Where's the stop loss? 137.40. My goodness, it's quite close. No, it's only 20 pips away. I wouldn't try and hedge it. No, Peter. I'd just say I don't know why it's jumping down. It might pop up. I don't know. We got the stop in. Hopefully, you got your position size right. That's okay. At the moment, I don't know. With a go figure. I don't know why it suddenly come down there. It might get a bit of support in these levels here. I'm hoping. See what I mean? It might get a bit of support here. I'll put a line in, maybe make it feel a bit better, make me feel a bit better as well. Might get a bit of a jump here, hopefully. But no, you got your risk reward. Decide on that trade. Hope it works out. I wouldn't try and don't hedge it there. Yeah, I do, to be honest. Yeah, not quite sure it's going to be dumped down there. That's my problem. I don't know why that suddenly happened. Let's look at the 5 minute. Might get a bounce back up again. We'll see anyway. I mean, it makes you feel any better. Okay, right. The dollar's come off a bit. To be honest, I don't know what to say. I mean, it's just, don't think the traders out there know either. Just absolutely no particular direction. Happens on a Monday. Hope we get some more. But just bear in mind, sort of be negative, guys, but all these fundamentals coming out during the week is going to be even more circumspect than usual. It's very frustrating, actually. But remember, we've had a good run. To say out of the 30 I sent out in my group QT WhatsApp, 30 ended up in a profit. Sorry, 30 were sent out, 7 were in a loss, and the other 23 ended up in a profit. So it's not too bad. And the thing is correct, Zeph. The thing is, when do you close that hedge anyway? That's the most difficult. You hedge it, and then there's sometime you're going to close the hedge, and when? Rather just forget about the hedge. Work out your equity management properly. Have your stop to protect, and it goes haywire. Well, you covered it with your stop, and you covered your position size, correct position size on the risk. That's the whole point behind it. Rather say, I don't want to take the loss. I'll hedge it. And then it bounces up, and now you're losing on the edge, so I'll close the edge, and it comes down again, and you're not adding to your problems. Get the right volume. If you decide to do it, you decide to do it. Looks bouncy as we speak there, Pietro. So there we are. Okay. All right. Okay. Sorry, it's a bit of a Monday morning at the moment. As I say, when I woke up first thing this morning and checked the markets, I thought, hang on, it's just very indecisive out there. But we'll see. Yeah, I'm afraid, Liatili, yeah. I know it's not better to trade any day. There's no such thing as a good or a bad day. Everyone's got opinions. That's what makes the market. So I can't say it's better in the afternoon, morning, or whatever. Somebody get a wonderful Monday morning, away you go. Otherwise, no. at the moment, it's a bit quiet, but there is no, I repeat, no holy grail out there. You find and practice what you're comfortable with is probably more psychological, and stick with that psychological comfort zone if you like. But there's no, if it was, it wouldn't be a market. I say now, best time is Wednesday afternoon, and that was correct. And everyone would be doing it Wednesday afternoon. Everyone would be not taking the counterparty risk. That's the point with the problem. The problem is that, and you're quite right, when people hedge is they don't want to take the loss, they've overexposed, they haven't done their position volume size correctly, now they don't take the loss, so they'll hedge it, and in the end they don't know when they close the hedge, and it bounces just by pure bad luck. Now you're losing on the hedge. So rather just say, I'm willing to risk X amount on that trade, go to position size calculator, get the volume right, have your SL and TP in, and then if you go to the profit, start modifying to protect. That's why I do it anyway, and it seems to be okay. But forget this trying to make a great Tom with the pill that solves everything. Yeah, well, this is a very good point. Nothing wrong if you love the thrills as long as you can afford it. There's a lady golfer, again, Laura Davis, that's right. And she spends quite a lot of money in the casino and says she can afford it, and it gives her a kick. That's fair enough. But if you're playing like that, it's up to you. Something I just do for the thrill of it. But if you're doing it as a poker game rather than a game of chance, and I was using your skills, you don't know what cards you're dealt, even a highly skilled poker player, unless he's cheating. So he's got to be circumspect with his bets. Okay. I'm very much on your side on that, Zeph. I totally agree with you, in fact. I've tried all that myself. And when I close the hedge, and I do close it, and I think I wish I hadn't, or whatever. So I'll just say, get the volumes right, then you will take that worry out and accept you're going to take the losses. I mean, I've sent out 30, 7 were losers. But if you still hold on to those losers and they continue to lose, you wipe out your 23 profit ones. That is a psychological, which is the biggest menace of all traders anyway. Okay. Good stuff. Thanks, Tilly. Good. Right. AUD, that's coming back off again. I don't want to make it this one. AUD USD, now it's exactly in the wrong way. I don't know. Monday morning, welcome. It's having such a nice weekend. What do you mean by price liquidity? What do you mean by that? What do I think of price liquidity? I mean, you have to have liquidity, you can't trade. Liquidity means buyers and sellers. So not quite clear what you mean by that. You talk about market makers, liquidity provider, or you talk liquidity of specific instruments? What do you mean? Oh, I see what you mean. The smart money concept is just the smart money. Well, it usually means the big money. The big money going in can push it in a specific direction. And of course, they often have no costs, so they can get out quicker. And of course, they usually have access to the news quicker than you and I do. But so some guys will follow what sort of bounce, etc. They're usually scalpel and momentum traders. All the stuff you can put together over time, etc. Get the experience, play around with. But the biggest problem with people is always spend a lifetime looking for the Holy Grail. Once you've found it, there is no more market, because you will not have a counterparty, and you have to have a counterparty to get that specific area, to get that position in. That's exactly the team. We did a calculation. It looked like downside of the weak dollar, so we were short. Now it's popped up, but hopefully we're still in. 67.85 at the stops. You're still in, and it might come off again. Japanese yen, we're doing all right, then it comes off. The dollar's doing nicely, 106.20 in the last, and now it's just come down to 105.83. Why that's happened, I'm not sure. I haven't seen an economic fundamental flash across my screen telling me some bomb's gone off square or whatever. So, yeah. And say just as well we wait on this one because it's come off even more as well. I thought it might be possibly a bounce. We wait. That's why the confirmation was correct. It's still coming off. CHF JPY, I think 1F46 might hold for a bounce up, but again, I'm not as calm as I'd like to be. The oil's still hovering around the 80 buck mark, as you can see. It's I think it's a bit of a wait and see, actually. Anyway, on hindsight, maybe we got in a bit quick on those two. It seemed a good idea at the time. Easy in hindsight, but maybe it'll come right. Even the euro clock, really? Wow. Yeah. But again, confirmation, wait for confirmation breakdown there. Discussed it this morning, earlier on before our Harper State meeting. Wait confirmation, just as bloody well we waited because now we've got to jump. Expectation, hawkishness coming out of four from Lagarde and the dollar some whatever reason, I don't quite know yet. Maybe someone else has seen something, tell me it's dropped down the last 45 minutes from 106.28 to 105.78. So that's a hell of a jump. What jump? Sorry, hell of a down jump. Dollar, for whatever reason, best be known. The main problem, I tell you right now, is political states. I mean, the midterms now, a minority grabbed the House, the Republicans. They retained the Senate, but it's so evenly balanced out there that you want a bit of strength, whether it be the Republican or Democrat. You want a bit of strength, and neither. And unfortunately, the leaders are now not that popular. Biden's got one of the lowest rating of popularity going, but yet Kamala Harris, the VP, is even lower, if that's possible. I'm not sure that Trump is doing the part in when he favors throwing his hat in the ring. I think he should have supported DeSantis and try and get some sort of movement towards a specific area. And I think that and the major debt they got worldwide and in the States as well is creating a lot of nerves out there. It's making it difficult for everyone. This is just giving facts, not being negative or positive, just being giving facts to where it's going. So just hope we can get this pull back on the Aussie and a jump on the dollar yen. I think something might have happened actually, that's why I came off so much. But I'm sort of flying around a little bit on the unknown there, I'm afraid to say. At least I'm honest with you, I'm up front on that. I don't try and make up a story. If I don't know, I say so. Okay. Any other questions? Because I don't think I'm going to be looking at any more trades at the moment. It's just too much jumping around. That's the worst. You want a direction. If you're wrong, well, at least it's a direction, but it's not even getting a proper direction. It makes life a little bit difficult. Rather just wait to get a better opportunity. Okay. Next to the pound dollar. I mean, I thought 1.2 would definitely hold. Now it's popped his head up there. Anything can happen there as well. But anyway, go back to Leah Telia. Acquire the skill, bottom line, and make calculated decisions. In a nutshell. And just accept, however skilled you are, Leah Telia, Zef, Pierre, whoever skilled you are, there's going to be times where you're going to think, well, there's no direction. Don't try and get cute. Even the best poker player in the world has to play with the cards they're dealt. And they're not dealt some very nice ones at the moment. So, yeah. I thought I might get some downside and gold. Now it's just popped up again. I think a bit of a fear factor coming in. So, yeah, let's have the S&P on that subject. Yeah, might have turned away the S&P. Let's do a shorter term chart. Yeah, it seems to be coming off. You took that one. At least that's a bit of good news. Quickly look at the NAS. Coming off, maybe a Dow. I don't know if you took it, Mark. It's still there. Seem to be coming off a bit on the Dow as well. Standing side is a position. I like that. Nkosi. It's a bit easier for me to pronounce. I'll call you Nkosi if you don't mind. At least not like a Hungarian or some of these Greek names, eh? Sure. About 26 letters long. Thank you. Nkosi, that's fine. Yeah, sure. Standing side is a position, yeah. And the dollar's still coming off, so we've got it. I think might get stopped down that sloppy trade now. Don't know where that's come from. Just hope this bloody holds anyway. I think trouble is, I think where it might hold if you're in this one is I think there's too many people scared to sell the yen at this level. I think some guys might be taking profit on it. I think it's going to be some. I mean, how many of you guys will be selling the yen, sort of selling the dollar and buying the yen at this level? I'd be nervous, so I think that's why it might hold. I hope so anyway. But you say it's come off again. The dollar's still falling. There's something going on out there. I've got a 1 hour chart in front of me and it's dipped 25, nearly 60 pips or 60, 0.6, which is a lot. Okay, before we wrap it up, any questions? Sorry, it's a bit sort of iffy today, but that happens. I don't enjoy it any more than you do. I like to get trades out. We've had them. We remember the good days. We've had them and they're going pretty quickly. And that's fantastic. Other times it's iffy at that moment. I've got a good track record in my group WhatsApp, so I don't want to spoil it by sending out stuff and it backfires. The whole idea is to try and build up trust and standard. That's what I'm trying to aim at. Okay, any questions? It's coming up to 11 o'clock, maybe we can wrap it up and hopefully get a bit more better day and have a relook at it at 4. Hope we get something going then. I think so, Anthony. And totally. Hope you're with me on that. Got to run anyway, Zeph. Okay. Okay, right. I hope to see you again this afternoon. That sounds good to me. Thank you very much for the encouragement, Vedna. It's not your fault if you're battling a bit this morning. It's not your fault. Trust me. A lot of bigger people than me out there probably think go figure as well. Okay, guys. Well, I'll wrap it up because I'm waffling a bit now. I'm really much new to add a value. So, yeah. I'm thinking definitely give some value. I can't. So I think we'll just wrap it up and get something going at 4. Keep your ink dry. Watch your position sizing so that it goes right. You don't make as much as you'd like, but rather that than over exposing. Very important. Okay. Thank you, guys. Cheers. And watch that dollar.